Good afternoon and welcome to the Nip and a Half Fantasy Football Podcast from Fantasy Football Hub with myself and Paul. And Paul, it feels like we haven't podded for ages. I can't remember what fantasy football is. How are you?
I was going to say, it also feels like you and I speak quite a lot, and whilst we have sent the odd message, it doesn't feel like we've talked that much recently either, right? So
No, you've been away for a fair bit and I've moved house. So the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks have been a bit crazy, haven't they?
they have. But yeah, I am all good, thanks. Had a very nice trip over to New Zealand, albeit very brief as well. Lovely part of the world. And yeah, just logged back in to see what mess I had in game week 12. But going into, was it game week 12? Can
Yeah,
never
we're
remember.
going into Gameweek 12, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Welcome everyone in the chat. Viney is in. Nobbles, FPL Sparta, Dave Hannigan, Manchester, and Tim Barry. Tim Barry's in the Caribbean. Goodness me.
Oh, nice.
I hope you're enjoying that, chaps. Firstly, apologies for my intermittent flickering light in my new house, which is getting on my tits. Nothing to do about it at the moment because it's like one of these spotlight things. I can't hang a shelf, change a ball when one of those. I can make a spreadsheet, Paul. But I can't do much else.
That's funnily enough, that's similar to my father-in-law's comments about me in the wedding speech earlier on this year.
Yeah, that's about right in it as well. Um, so yeah, and my internet has also not quite made its way all through the house yet either. So hopefully everything comes through okay. Let us know in the chat that everything is working as planned and you can see us and hear us, and that we are good. But yeah, Paul, let's stretch our minds back. And yeah, do you want to talk about your team? Where do you want to start?
Which car crash to start with first?
Oh, is it that bad,
Let's
really?
uh, let's start with
Interesting.
Dream Team. Let's start with Dream Team, since I've been doing particularly bad in that format.
Go on in. How was your game week 11?
Scored 57 points, which felt underwhelming. I think I had a small red arrow with that. I did, yeah, 20K. So it has not been going well at all recently for me. However, however, I think that I am maybe just on the cusp of turning things around in
Oof.
that I'm getting close to not being 2 steps behind in every move that I'm planning currently. I do have Gabriel to sort out, assuming he's out, and a couple of other things to deal with in the team. But uh, I think I think with the moves this week and then perhaps next week, I can get to a strong game week. Well, that would be a game week 13 team to potentially play goal booster in. So that's what my
Yeah.
current plan is. So I've got one eye on that anyway.
Yeah. What's been happening the last few weeks was there's normally a transfer or a point in time or a game week where things kind of went wrong. Do you know what that is, or because
I think
you were on kind of the upward trend, weren't you? But it feels like the
yeah,
last maybe 3 weeks you've got caught a step and you've been
I'd say
behind.
maybe I'd say maybe 5 weeks.
Okay.
I was pissing about with the Palmer situation for too long. I think if I had just taken him out instead of trying to use the subs constantly in that period of time, I thought
Yeah.
maybe thought I was being overly clever by doing it, and I definitely wasn't. So for me, it's like I'm not going to say it's all bad luck. I think I've bad play and bad luck combination. I even did the same when I took out. I could have kept in Konza, and instead I took Konza out, knowing that he was going down three, and then kept in Romero, thinking that because he was back in training that he would probably play that week. He didn't, and then Konza kept a clean sheet against Man City, then followed up with a clean sheet the following week, and it's just
Yeah,
a
that hurts.
combination of those types of moves when I probably should have known better and just smarten myself up a little bit. So yeah, I'll chalk it down to mostly bad play and then say a little bit bad luck on the side.
Well, I don't mind basking in Dream Team because it's the only game I'm doing reasonably well in. Um, I scored 66 last week. I've had quite a good few weeks. I was 20k about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and now I'm just outside the top 2k. I've had a few excellent weeks. Triple Palace defense. In all fairness, the first time they came in last weekend for a while, they kept conceding. Remember the week before they've had two pretty easy European matches. They lost I think at home to
Larnaca,
like like
Larnaca.
they were 1-7 on, and they
Yeah,
all played, and they lost 1-0, which was a real kick in the teeth. And then they won last week 3-1, but they conceded again. But yeah, they kept the clean sheet, so I had them. I've had double Arsenal for a few weeks now as well, which has been going well. I've got Enzo, who limped off, didn't he, towards the end? I haven't really heard too much about him still. Foden did really well the week before, got 28 pointer in Europe, and I brought in Ismail Assar, and I got Harlem Mateta and João Pedro. So I've had a good week. 66 points. Smallish green this week, but team's in good shape. I only made one move last time. I took out Gordon for João Pedro, so I've got 3 transfers. And at the moment, my loose transfers were Foden and Enzo Fernandez to Saka. I have to get Saka. He's just a scoring. He's just a dream team beast, and I feel quite fortunate actually that he hasn't. He scored really well, but he hasn't kicked off these ridiculous 20, 25 pointers, which we know he's capable of yet. So I think he's going to rise zero point 0.3 this time. So I think he got a 14 pointer last time out off just the one goal or whatever it was.
yeah,
But I watched the Man City Liverpool match, and Doku was, oh my goodness, it was one of the performances of the season. He'll definitely going up zero point 0.3 as well. So I'm tempted to Foden and Enzo to Saka and Doku. And then I'm also tempted to see how Gabriel is. This is the beauty of having kind of four at the back at times, is you can pivot quite quickly. I am tempted to maybe do Gabriel, the Soberslay maybe, who's just been kind of quietly doing really, really well. But I will see. And but overall in Dream Team, I'm really happy. I feel ahead of the curve, and I've also got an extra transfer on most others as well now. So I've got options. I
yeah.
just need to keep the slow momentum going um, over the coming weeks. But yeah, I think I'm also going to play the goal booster in the double Prem matchup because I think the fixtures are pretty decent.
Yeah.
And you know they will likely play twice, won't they? What are your thoughts on Salah? Because the fixtures turn now. They've got lovely fixtures, but he has been rested in last two league matches, haven't he?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about getting him in for not this week, but well,
For the
he's going to
double.
go down in value again, but potentially him
Yeah,
in the following week. What would he be? 6.6 at that point in
about
time.
that.
So
Yeah, I think so.
feels he's perhaps easier to get to. I've got Voltemade in my team still, who I was going to transfer out for Saka this week, but depending on the Gabriel news, I've got four at the back as well, so I might do Gabriel to Saka on that in that sense, and then keep Voltemade, and I could use him to get to Salah next week perhaps.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking at it as something next week rather than this week um, to do.
Any sort of longer term thoughts on Dream Team? I haven't really looked past the double Prem one. Um, just Liverpool's fixtures are really nice. If we look, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4 game weeks time. Liverpool and Arsenal blank. So this is the Carabao, isn't it? This is the Carabao. This would be the quarterfinals, wouldn't it? So City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Palace in Europe, and then Fulham and Brentford all play twice. And then Arsenal and Palace also play the week after. Palace just go all the way through. They don't have a rest at all, do they? Are you thinking that far ahead at all yet or not?
No, I have looked at Palace for the next three sets of fixtures, and I know that they've got five away games and one home game, but I just did there's no in-depth analysis here, but I was looking at where their clean sheets come from, and I do think it is kind of spread evenly. So whilst most teams I'd be looking at picking players that predominantly play at home over that period, I'm not too fussed with with the fact that Palace are playing away. I remember there was a stat at the start of the season where they were unbeaten, like 13 or 14 away from home as well, which coincides with a lot of clean sheets as well. So part of my thinking this week is like what keeper do I want long term as well, and I've got Roy still, but I provided I get no more injuries, I could make that switch to Henderson this week as well. So that's certainly something I'm looking at. But beyond that, I think just getting to some sort of a template team or like team that I'm comfortable with, which is what I feel I've been chasing for a significant period of time now, puts me in a good base so that I can start planning again at that point in time.
And all these injuries not going to help. Well, I say they're not going to help. They do kind of help in terms of you can, say Gabriel and Enzo are out now. Maybe you can move them out to move more towards the template. But if you've got other fires as well, it's hard, isn't it? Because you've got your fires as well as these other ones as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next week or so plays. But yeah, good stuff, mate. Should we have a look at Telegraph next?
Yeah, this will be an interesting week in Telegraph. Last time out, I scored 38, which I felt was pretty on average.
Yeah, I think so.
I wasn't sure what my overall position was prior to that, but I think I was 700 odd, and I'm still 700 odd now as well. So I'm pretty happy with how things have been going there. I do think this is going to be an interesting week though, with if Gabriel and Semenyo are both out. They're embedded as part of the template. So whether or not people move them out or not, if either had short-term injuries, as in they were kind of playing it game by game, and even if they were ruled out this week, I probably wouldn't move either on.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'll probably leave them. I think they're they're two of the best value, and also just best picks in the game, regardless in terms of when you get rid of them, when they come back, you're going to want to get them back, aren't you? So unless they're ruled out for like maybe more than 3 games, um, I think I'd be tempted to just keep and trying to and try and steal a mark over my rivals, who will try and move on to we'll move on to other people, but then they'll find that obviously when Gabriel and Semenyo are back, they're sort of linchpins of the team, right? Because they're both probably underpriced as well. And Semenyo, there's not that many sort of really good cheaper midfielders either, and he is one of them, 3.1 million, crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
One thing mentioned on Telegraph. So I've got two players going to AFCON at my team currently, and I've been looking at wins potentially good hop off points. So I think they play 4 games each in the certainly in the league before they go. On that fourth game, Palace are away to Fulham in the second last kickoff. So if I was to make a move to gain fixtures, I could only move to a Wolves or Man United player. However, if you did it the week before, you've got a much larger array of options to pick from there. So I've not looked at the specific individuals that I would necessarily move across to at that point in time, but I have got one eye on that and almost set myself as a reminder to think about when there's options at that point in time, moving both Die and Ismail Sarr on. So yeah, definitely something with Telegraph, knowing that you can make those transfers intra game week is something I've got an eye on.
and the legendary question: how many transfers should we be aiming for around that? Maybe around that period, because there's Afcon and there's also the Carabao quarters as well, which I think are gonna be of interest because normally when it gets to the quarters, teams start to roll out stronger teams, don't they?
Well, I'm going to be more interested, I think, in the semis because it's Palace play Arsenal in the next round of the cup. Is
Yeah.
that right? And therefore, I imagine others like my own team is littered with Arsenal and Palace players. So whether that then opens up an opportunity to move on to a team from the team that gets exited. Um, I'd play it out at that point in time and have a look and see if the Palace and Arsenal fixtures remain strong beyond that. I imagine I wouldn't fully come off them anyway, with them both offering arguably the best value in the game at this point in time.
Yep. Good point. Chelsea got away to Cardiff. Chelsea got a lovely run. They're home to Burnley first game back, and then they got a bit of a break, and then they've got Arsenal. But from the 3rd of December, the Wednesday, this is the second half of the double Prem week. They go Leeds, Bournemouth, Everton, Cardiff, Newcastle, Villa.
But
It's a really nice run.
It's that Leeds fixture that I'm looking at
Yeah,
for like potentially moving on to a Chelsea player from Palace, like from
yeah,
Ismail Sarr in particular.
makes sense. Good stuff. What did I score? I scored 36 points. No transfers used, down to 35 overall, which I'm not best pleased with, but I had to make a few moves. I brought Sar in, and I bought Sar on that midweek when
Yeah,
he braced, and that was a massive move. That like halved my
I
ranking
wait to
on it.
Liverpool, but it was a kind of Liverpool second string team that was put out, right?
Exactly, and that's the only reason I brought him in was because of that. So yeah, triple Palace defense, Sar and Mateta. So I'm really heavy on. I got 5 Palace. I only have I only actually represent 4 teams in my Telegraph team. I've got 5 Palace, 3 Arsenal. I've got Gabriel, Timber, and Eze. Eze was a mistake a while back, but I was locked into a formation. I wanted an Arsenal player. 2 Bournemouth in Truffert and Semenyo, who haven't performed, but their fixtures do turn from this weekend onwards for the next 3 or 4. So I'll probably leave them in. And Haaland. And I think I've got about like 5 million in the bank or something ridiculous like that. But I was hoping I could go straight from True Fair to Salah, which I know sounds ridiculous, but I'm 0.2 short. I can't get from a 2. I can nearly get from a 2.3 to a 7.7 player, but I'm 0.2 short. And I was going to do that actually on the game prior to um, the break, because Liverpool played last, didn't they? So I probably saved myself a little bit there.
Salah will
I'll
be
leave it
done.
a bit.
You'd only get 4 games out of Salah before going to AFCON
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
and Liverpool don't play in the Carabao Cup as well. Yeah, I've got a similar team to you. I've got Saka, which
You?
is slight difference. I was wondering there when you said you had triple Palace defence, because I've only got double how I scored more than you, but it's because I've got Saka. So yeah, I've got 4 Arsenal, 4 Palace, Semenyo and Dye and Haaland.
Yeah, very similar. I think
So
we're only
pretty similar. I think we've got that.
two players difference. I think there, but
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, reasonably happy. 3.2k, 35 used 10 transfers, which is a lot. But I'm probably not going to
What's your overall
use.
point? What's your overall points?
Uh, where is it? 590. I think I'm about 25 behind you. I think
30 and 39.
39 is it? Caught I caught up with you a little bit a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how, but I did. But yeah, you seem to have gained a little bit. But I'm reasonably happy there now. When you languish at like 9 or 10k, which I did last year, and I stayed there for far too long last year, and I let myself get 50 points behind the pack, which is way too many. So I'm reasonably happy now. Palace has still got an excellent run. Bournemouth fixtures improve now. And in terms of Arsenal, you're just kind of blocking the Arsenal ownership, really, aren't you? So I'll probably leave it now. Say it'd be interesting to see what happens with Gabriel and Semenyo. I don't think I'll be.
If either was ruled out long term, would you make a short term move to Salah first, like knowing that you've got the money, or
The fixtures are pretty good, aren't they? They got first Forest, didn't it? They got Forest on Saturday, and they're away to West Ham. Then they're home to Sunderland and away to Leeds. I mean, they're 4 excellent fixtures, I would say. We say they only 4, but they are a superb 4. He's going to play in all of them, and he's going to get a lot of chances. I might be tempted and then go back to the same player almost for a 4. It could end up being a 4-for-1 or a
yeah,
4-for-0 maybe. And Arsenal's fixtures now do toughen up quite significantly for the next 4. They've
yeah,
got Spurs at home. Chelsea away, Brentford at home, and Villa away. And I do fancy them to concede in probably at least two of those games, maybe even three. I think they'll definitely concede against Chelsea. I think they'll concede against Villa away. I'm not too sure about the home games against Spurs and Brentford. So we will see. But then they go right back into Wolves at home, Everton, home to Palace, home to Brighton, home to Villa. And Bournemouth, Liverpool, it's not amazing, but Gabriel's just everywhere, isn't he? I mean, the goals and assists he's had in this last month has been absolutely crazy. Just for attacking returns alone. You'd have him as a midfielder.
Yeah.
Crazy. Um, FPL, how was your FPL week?
Dreadful. 34 points. So yeah, not great at all. And
34.
yeah, I'm down and well, I say down like 450k. I think if you told me that if I would be 450k at this point at the start of the season, I would take it.
Decent.
I was I obviously was doing a lot better. Um, So yeah, I don't even. I think my team looks okay, and it looks okay for this week coming up as well. I did have to move early because I wanted Mbuemo on my team, and he was going up, and I had Anthony Gordon, so I've made that move early, and I now have two new flags, which I guess most people have with Gabriel and Semenyo.
I got three. I got
Anyway,
bloody Enzo as well.
um, but my bench is okay, so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take any. I'm not planning on taking any hits this week, but I know a lot of people are moving back to Virgil or will move to him from Gabriel if Gabriel's ruled out longer term. I still own, and therefore was very frustrated when his goal was disallowed. I was watching it live in the plane. I didn't know that they did live
Oh,
football
really?
games. Yeah, so I watched that game and I was very disgruntled when it was the goal was chalked off. Considering he's not well owned in any of the formats really, so it wasn't going to cause me a problem in Telegraph or Dream Team. So yeah, frustrating there, but I'm happy to have him in place, even though Liverpool haven't looked great defensively this season. Um, you mentioned the fixtures there, and yeah, I'm pretty happy to hold him. And I'd held Senesi through that period and benched him most
He
of the
looks good.
games, so having him for their good fixtures, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the team. And then I do have three AFCON players, but I can get rid of them with the five free transfers that come anyway. So I'm okay with how things are set up. What about you?
I scored 45. I did wildcard in game week 10. I've had two small greens. Smallish greens. Very, very template. Um, Enzo has kind of let me down. Enzo had two shots in target in the first 3 minutes in the last game, and he just hasn't. He's just not doing it, is he? I think his FPL. I think he scored something like 8 points in the last 4 game weeks or something, and he's always his stats are incredible. He was man of the match. He was brilliant, and then he came off bloody injured ahead of Burnley. But yeah, it's frustrating for. I think quite a lot of people have sold the menu as well, which I'm frustrated about because I held him purposely for this run. From game week 12, he hasn't done anything in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Well, apart from miss a penalty, so I am frustrated if he is injured, and obviously it's that same as Telegraph. We're gonna have to see the extent of the injuries for both Gabriel and Semenyo. My bench is probably not as good as yours, so yeah, just gonna have to see. I've got two free transfers. In terms of Liverpool, quite interested who you're interested in Liverpool. I quite look at Soboslai. I well, I wasn't. I was interested in Gakpo, but he's not played the last two Champions League and League game. Not going anywhere near Verts. Obviously, you've got the Ekatike Isak sort of
Conundrum.
merry-go-round there. There's only Salah who's going to play. You would think, and then probably Soboslai is the other one who is going to play. But I think he looks good. He's 6.6 million. Um, any thoughts on Liverpool players?
I'd probably go back. I think Gakpo gets back in, and
Think.
I think he'd be my preferred option alongside Van Dijk. Um, yeah, it is tricky. I guess if you're wildcarding just now, would you consider trying to get a team with Salah and Haaland? I think the answer would be potentially yes. Um,
It would be probably have to go without Saka.
yeah,
Is that something you'd be willing to do? Go without Saka?
I mean I'm going without both, so but
Brilliant.
um, well, you mentioned their Arsenal's fixtures aren't great though, so I think I
No,
think that if I was wildcarding just now, I'd go without Saka and I'd have Salah on my team.
but
Um,
it's going on nothing except for his legacy, right? There's no form to speak of.
and it's only four, and it's only 4 games as well because we AFCON after that.
Yeah, if you don't mind that,
But
because you can
you get the
downgrade.
five.
You can
You get the
downgrade.
five.
Yeah, you can
You get the 5 transfers to fix the team at
like
that point.
like having a 14.5 million player leaving after 4 lovely fixtures is nice because you can probably get down to a Sack or even a Palmer at that point and have
Yeah.
4 million to spread across your team. Be interesting to see because there's lots of engaged managers who'll be wild carding now in game week 12 and game week 13. Be interesting to see if they go with Salah or not. I mean, he's a differential. I'm trying to think now if I was wild carding now if I'd go with Salah. I still know the answer. I don't know is my honest answer. I think it would. I think it would depend actually on whether Gabriel and Semenyo were out long term because they're quite
Yeah.
expensive in their
Yeah.
positions. Maybe if they were out for weeks,
Yeah, because
I think there's an
yeah, because the
argument to
argument
go
is
with
that the
Salah.
argument is that if Gabriel was out, that I don't know, I probably wouldn't go another Arsenal defender. I know Timber's very viable, but I probably wouldn't go another Arsenal defender then. Um, and you're right, and there's a lot of value in the cheaper defenders as well. And like you look at guys like Michael Keane
I
that
was going
can
to say
make up.
Michael Keane, yeah, Rosen
Um,
Anderson, and
and Rodon's good for DEFCON, and Senesi's like
yeah,
almost 5 million now.
yeah, but he's 1.5 million less than Gabriel now, isn't he? So
Yeah,
interesting stuff. Yeah, I think if they were injured, I would be tempted by Salah. Not you know, obviously notwithstanding that he's just 90 minutes on penalties, good fixtures, no form to speak of. But if he kicks off, I mean, you're laughing, right? Goodness me. Um, yeah, there's Afcon. You've used all your chips, and I've still got my free hit, and I've no idea when I'm playing it. I haven't even like thought about it yet. So
I think game week 13 is a good week to play it, but I guess it would
is
depend
that
on
is
how your
that for the
team's.
double?
No. It's the week after next. Just thinking like you could get a team with Sal, like we just talked
Oh,
about
sorry,
Sal's
I
fixtures
see
that
what
you
you
could
mean.
get
Yeah,
what you could get him and Virgil in if and Arsenal are away to Chelsea. Is that a great fixture for your Arsenal players anyway?
interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Um, City at home at Leeds, so you could have kind of Nico Riley, and if you could guess on which midfielder's going to play, whether it's Doku or such like. Similar with Brentford, I think like Igor Thiago's popular, but their fixtures aren't particularly great. But in game week 13, they're at home at Burnley as well, so like there is definitely there, there's definitely it's definitely a viable option, and Villa's at home at Wolves as well.
Interesting with Riley you mentioned because I think Norrie goes to Afcon as well, and he hasn't played right. They've only got 4 more games before he goes. I think
Yeah,
O'Reilly maybe in some formats may actually be a shrewdest move because we keep sort of looking at him and then dismissing him because I think Norrie will be back soon. He goes off to Afcon as well, don't he? Is
yeah,
he is
he's
he
not good in.
Algerian or is making? Is he Algerian or Moroccan?
O'Reilly's not. He's only 2.9 in Dream Team, but he's
He's a
midfielder in the game.
midfielder.
So
Yeah,
yeah, otherwise I think he'd be in everyone's team.
yeah. Yeah, interesting. What do you think of Bradley, Liverpool? Because he's 3.2, I think, but they conceded three, so he's probably going down. He might come in at like
Yeah,
3 million.
I get nervous based on how many players that can play right back because he's been playing Szoboszlai there as well, hadn't he? Oh. I think if he was even if he was playing 3 out of 4, I'd definitely consider. consider it. Is he? There's quite. Oh, Solskjaer's got 4 bookings. That was one of the things that it was actually putting off me off him.
Oh
I know
wow,
that you were
okay. I
talking
didn't
about
realize that. I didn't
getting him
realize
in
that.
FPL.
That's interesting.
But yeah, Bradley. I think if he did well last week, might have considered might have considered bringing him in this week in Dream Team as well. So it might be one I assess at the end of this game week.
Yeah, the fixtures are good. 3 million. You could park him in as either a fourth or fifth defender
You
there.
could get Salah for the
You can get
short term
Salah,
one.
exactly that. Salah and Bradley for a combined less than 10 million is crazy, really, when you consider, um, the alternatives. So yeah, maybe that's something to look at. Interesting. When Salah goes off, it was well mooted, wasn't it? That Ring Pong could be playing in that sort of on that right wing, but he just keeps getting
But
injured,
he's
doesn't he?
now out till January or something like that.
All right, is he out
I
till
think
January?
so. Don't
I
quote me
saw
on
I
that,
saw
but I
he's
think he was
injured.
out for a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Okay, interesting stuff. How is the leaderboard looking, right?
You are sitting in 39th position just now, with an average mini league rate rank of 35.3. I'm 26th with 31.3, so it's actually not, there's not that much distance between you and I.
Hmm.
And then looking at the top 10, we've got Simon Davison 10th, Johnny Curry in ninth, the reigning champ, Ben Parker in 8th, Peter Clinch in 7th, Dale Pointer in 6th, James Northrop in 5th, Keith Ledger in 4th, Gary Carter in 3rd, Danny White in 2nd, and your fellow TFF podder, Carl Weeks in 1st. Carl is 2nd in Dream Team, 1st in FPL, and 25th in TFF. So his speciality game is letting
Yeah,
him
letting him
down.
down, indeed. It's interesting this year that no one's really run away with it yet. I'd
Yeah,
say probably maybe Danny has got the in second because he's 19th in Dream Team. I mean, he's maybe got the most consistent ones, maybe.
he's got the
Obviously,
booster, and he's got the boosters. He's got 2 boosters
yeah,
left in
yeah,
Dream Team as well. Whereas I know like Gary in thirds used 3 of his.
very interesting. Johnny's second overall in TFF, and he started off very slow as well. So it's interesting to see what sort of strategy he has deployed. Yeah, some massive names all over the board. It's a tough old tough old league, this one. Goodness me. Um, just got the questions in the chat or comments. Finally, third successive week having Saka as captain over Haaland finally paid off in FPL. Did indeed. And Tim Barry asked, if you own Salah, would you captain him this week? FPL. Who have the go-to
Definitely
captain
consider they're home to
captains?
Forest, aren't they?
Yeah, they are home to Forest and Haaland's away to Newcastle. Um, not too many obvious options. Saka home to Spurs.
Yeah. I'm half tempted by Embuemo at home to Everton as well.
Hmm.
What's he got 4-4 now? If Newcastle just didn't look so bad at the back, I know St James is a different beast. Like
Yeah.
City obviously went to Villa and struggled, and that's somewhere where they've historically struggled in the past as well. So there's definitely an argument to take it on. Would I captain Salah? Do you know what? Maybe I would.
I think I
Not, not,
think
not
so
only
this
is he
week.
low, not only is he loaned, but then when you're doubling up with the captaincy as well.
I think so, especially if
I
you
think
own
I probably, I
Haaland.
think I probably would.
Yeah, I think it's a week to do it. I think um, Forest has slightly improved, but yeah, I would just say you are going off sort of legacy
Past
thinking.
legacy. Yeah. So on penalties and one of the most attacking teams in the league. You could add, I guess you can add your own narrative to
You
it.
can add a name narrative. We're good at that. And Tim Barry's an Everton fan as well. It's saying if you own Salah, would you captain it? Okay, mate. Good chat. Enjoyed that. Yeah, definitely be dusting off the cobwebs. Like I say, it feels like I think it's because it's a single game week last time out, and there were limited transfers used across the board. It feels like we've almost had like 3 weeks off in it in terms of actual activity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I,
about to get incredibly busy in it. These next this next period is mental.
Yeah, and say pending news, I might feel a bit more confident in Dream Team this week when the last 2 or 3 weeks have felt bad because I've been a couple of moves behind. But uh, yeah, hope fingers crossed I can sort it out.
A few of us from the hub are off to the FCAs, the Football Content
I don't
Awards
know.
this week, and also the Dream Team Tonic guys have been nominated and they are finalists as well. So well done to them, chaps. Looking forward to
Where's
seeing
that hosted this year?
Elland Road, Leeds. I booked my train this morning and realised it's nearly a 6-hour train journey from Barry Island to bloody Leeds. I was like, God,
Or it wouldn't be as bad as my return from New Zealand, which was a 40 hour end to
how
end.
how was it 40 hour? Did you circle the
Uh,
world twice?
Flew from Dunedin up to Auckland, then I had a 7.5 hour layover in
Oh,
Auckland, then
wow.
it's an 18-hour flight to Dubai, then it was 9.5 hours in Dubai, and then 8 hours back to
Goodness me,
Edinburgh.
that is crazy. Wowie. No wonder you look pasty.
It's the light in this.
No, it's not.
This room.
It's because you're Scottish. Because you're
I
Scottish.
did do some decorating though. Like I've got
I saw it.
ESO my ESO badges from 1979 when my great granddad collected them when he was filling up.
Really?
And so
Wow.
yeah, I've got 40. Like, there's 72 badges from Scotland and English teams that were in the top flights at that point in time.
Well, that is fantastic. I like your new little word in the corner as well.
Yeah, get some oxygen from the
Better,
plants.
better than that thing you had there before. I can't remember what it was now. You had something stood there like it looked like an
I was
umbrella.
like, yeah, it looked like Singapore cane, like in the wrestling when they like flash across the back. That's there. It was
That's
the
still there.
blind.
Ah, it was the blind that you hadn't hung
Yeah,
up. That's what they mean about you can't hang a blind because it was there. It was there for months. It's been
yeah.
there since like it's retro now, isn't it? It's been there since like 2024. Um, okay, mate. Yeah, we will hopefully catch up next week. And thanks to everyone for joining us. Thanks for listening and watching. And best of luck ahead of Game Week 12.